Hello, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, that's completely fine. Push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later date. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. That being said, let's get you some helpful, fun, insightful messages. Whatever wants to come through, I will read. One more card for Cancer. All right. So let's see. Actually, we're going to start off with one of these. I just felt inclined to pull this oracle deck. All right. Cancer. Is there an oracle card we can start with? Piece of advice or guidance? Let's see. Protest. Start a revolution. All right. And bottom of the deck says confidence. It comes with time and practice. Isn't that the truth for my shy Cancers out there? Well, that's not all of you. That's an interesting dynamic too, going from, needing to practice confidence and lean into your own inner strength to like protest, which is very like beast mode, right? Warrior mode. Interesting. So to me, it says you're fighting for something. And that doesn't necessarily have to be like going to war, going to battle, but, fighting for your person, fighting for someone that's important to you, fighting for your place in the world, for, a position that you want at work. But it could also be going toe to toe with someone who you've had maybe a difficult trajectory with. So anyway, we'll keep that in mind as we make our way through your reading here. So we have the Queen of Wands. I always like to start in the middle and kind of branch out from there. Center of your spread is the Eight of Pentacles. So that's a good work card, putting a lot of work in, a lot of time and energy. It's about identifying with the work you do and more or less putting yourself into the work you do. It's a Sun in Virgo. So Virgo is the maiden of the zodiac, but I also think it's one of the worker bees of the zodiac. It wants to serve. Its main desire is to serve, right? So putting yourself in whatever it is that you do. But with the Queen of Wands, it's a little bit more spicy. It's a little bit more hot. It's a little bit more dramatic, for better or worse, right? So something that you have a lot of like enthusiasm to move forward with. Maybe this is a person. Maybe it's with your Knight of Wands, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I do feel like someone may be coming in and maybe making an offer to work with you. Again, you can choose to view that however you'd like to if it resonates. I always like to kind of look at the hierarchy and just take note of it. So you have the Queen of Wands, which is just a notch above the Knight of Wands. So they definitely speak the same language. There's definitely an understanding there. But I'm wondering what is the upper hand that this Queen of Wands has? And is that you, Cancer, right? For some of you, this could be you trying to enter a workplace and this being your boss. For most of you, though, I'm getting the idea, male or female, gender is put aside, right? Or, whatever you identify with. For a lot of you, I feel like you're coming through as the Queen of Wands, again, because it's sort of that idea of gathering that confidence and owning yourself and being able to come through kind of with this power babe mode. So I'm wondering, is this person younger? Is that the hierarchy? Do they make less money? Are they a little bit more immature, personality-wise? Are they looking for a little bit more freedom? Are they less willing to commit or initiate? Are they the shy one? I always like to kind of play with those dynamics and ideas and just simply pose the question, why isn't it coming through as like a King of Wands, which I see the King and Queen more as like equal counterparts. Not to say there's anything wrong with the Knight of Wands. He's a really good time, he or she, right? Really good time, a lot of fun, spunky, a lot of energy, very adventurous. I always kind of describe it as like Indiana Jones, like always up for the next big thrill or the next big adventure. What's interesting though is like, I almost feel like there's someone who maybe has that spirit about them, but they're recognizing that in order for this partnership to succeed, whether it's romantic or business, it's almost like we got to buckle down a little bit and do the work and commit to something long term, because this sort of scattershot, mutable fire, a little here, a little there, this kind of scattershot energy or scatterbrained or however you want to say it, this sort of in and out of energy, that's not really going to work if we're trying to get to this mutual goal or this mutual decision. So for some of you, you may be in a partnership where you're kind of wondering if your person is ready to settle down. What's interesting is, the Hierophant is coming through, which can be a card of long-term commitment and marriage, and it is showing up, near this Knight of Wands. So is it in this person's brain? Is it in the running? Yeah, I would say there's potential there, but I think we got to look a little bit closer to at some of these other cards. So The Queen of Wands is conflicted about something, and I do think it's about working with this person. There's double Jupiter energy here with the Knight of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles can be a juggler energy, but to me, it's almost like, can these two people, can these two energies, maybe it's you and a job, right? Can they merge? Can they work together successfully so that it's not burdensome, or that someone isn't pulling or, carrying all the weight, or having to take up all the slack, or whatever the term is? I almost see this kind of infinity loop as we have two opposites, we have two separates, but what would happen if we brought them together? I think initially I'm sort of really focusing on these sort of like rocky waves in the background of like, it's going to be a ride for sure. Like, it's not necessarily smooth sailing, but it doesn't mean that there isn't like potential for this to work. But I think there's definitely an adjustment period. That is like a very key word. There's definitely an adjustment period of getting used to this new way of life, or this new role, this new schedule, this new commitment, maybe with the Hierophant. I am seeing the keys particularly like noted in the Hierophant. So this may have to do with moving in with someone. And, for some of you, it could just be a roommate. Some of you may be sort of conflicted about, this is my best friend and we work well together. But, what happens if we move in together? Is that going to ruin our friendship? It might be very platonic and, innocent. It doesn't have to be romantic partnership. But just the idea of like, will this work together? And as I mentioned, Sun in Virgo, are we both willing to nurture this, whatever this mutual energy is between you that you're trying to, get together and merge? Do we have the same devotion and dedication to make it work? Are we going to put in the time and effort and energy mutually? Or is there going to be someone who wants to sneak away, or do a little bit less, or isn't committed, or is maybe just more flighty, or has their hand in multiple cookie jars, right? Maybe this person simply can't commit in the same amount of time or energy or the same level because they have responsibilities elsewhere. It's not to say the Knight of Wands is bad. I love the Knight of Wands in certain contexts. I don't know why, but in this spread, I just feel like the Queen of Wands is giving the Knight of Wands the side eye a little bit. And I almost feel like there's this, I don't think you're saying it to this person, but for my Cancers who relate to this, it's almost like there's, am I going to pull the trigger with this one? Or can I do better? And that's what I think this is. I think there's internal conflict of, am I willing to risk it and roll the dice and take a chance on this person? Because they do bring, I'm almost getting like a world of experience. They bring new experience and new energy because they have this very interesting dynamic. They have this very diverse background. They bring something fresh and new and interesting to the table. With the Ten of Swords here, I also feel like you have been burned before, pun intended, with the fire energy here. And I also think this card is also Sun in Gemini. We have Sun in Virgo. So the idea of wanting something to grow, I almost look at this as like tending to a plant. It's like, you can will it and want it to grow, but if you're pouring water on it and the other person is putting their cigarette butts out in it, and this is a metaphor, right? It's like, of course that plant isn't going to grow and thrive, right? Because there's not a mutual agreement or a mutual desire, or to get on the same page and equally do the work, or do the same amount of effort, or whatever it is. That was like a clunky metaphor, but I hope you understand what I mean. The sun is how we grow and thrive and develop in life. So if we can't get on the same page, we're going to struggle with that. You guys get the point. And so I think, I frequently say this to Cancer, don't let past memories, past trauma, past mistakes, past misgivings factor into your ability to make decisions about the now and the present and the future. As long as you walk away having learned the lessons, then you're good to go. You don't have to sort of carry around this fear or this what if or really trust issues. And I think I said this to you recently, but it's like the idea of guilty until proven innocent. It should really be the opposite, right? I mean, and hopefully, you're with someone who's going to share that same innocent until proven guilty type mentality with you. You don't want to be cut off, right from the start because this person's still, holding a grudge against their ex or someone else in their life and bringing it into this new relationship. Nah. We don't want that, right? We want to start fresh. And I do think this person is coming off some recent high or some recent energy where some recent high. I just made it sound like they're a total stoner. Maybe they are. I don't know. The Knight of Wands could be, especially with the Taurus energy coming through. That's too funny. All right, sorry, we're refocusing. No judgment there. No judgment. I feel like they're coming off of some recent success. This is a card about culminations, graduations, anniversaries. Something big. Where it's like they're starting a new chapter. So they seem to be coming in. Maybe they're a little bit naive. Maybe they're a little bit wet behind the ears. They maybe lack the same experience. But with that, I don't know. I sense that their energy is coming in very confident and knowing that they have a lot that they can contribute to whatever this is. And I kind of like it. And the more I look at this Knight of Wands, I don't think they're coming in looking to play games. I think by nature they're a very playful, happy, excitable person. But I almost sense that they know that if they get into this with you, there's a high degree of I want to say professionalism. But that really is what I get. It's like, if you're going to come, you better come correct. Like, if you're going to come and work with me or date me or be in this with me, there's a certain level of expectation. It's kind of like you've spelled out for them what's kind of expected in a Queen of Wands way. It's not like you're being like a dictator or anything, but they know that. And so there's almost like a little bit of fear or intimidation because they know the stakes are high to do well. And maybe this is you, Cancer, right? Sometimes the messages go in reverse. This could totally be you applying to your dream job and feeling like, I've always wanted this, but now it's like, now that I have it, it's real. And, my fear is kicking in of, am I going to be enough? Am I going to do this well? I'm just saying, I actually do kind of like these both energies. The fact that they're the same suit, meaning, they're both of the fire energy. I think these people could play very well together. I think they could create magic. I think they would, quote unquote, would stoke each other's fire, right? That sounds very sexual. Oh, Cancer. But, maybe that's it. Maybe there's good sexual compatibility, right? I'm not going to deny that with the two fire energies coming through here. And to be fair, to be transparent, we all have fire energy within us, right? It's not like because you're a water sign, you lack that, right? I don't want to confuse anybody. But when those cards come through, whether it's a fire sign or not, it's saying this person and these cards are helping you get in touch with your own fire energy, your passion, your enthusiasm, your playfulness, your desire to keep it light and happy and, share your gifts with the world. There's something very creative and, artistic and talented, I think, about the fire signs, but also very soulful, right? Which, you have that, 10 times over, Cancer. I don't have to tell you about that, but let's see. Yeah, I feel like this person has this new sense of freedom because they're out of some sort of long-term situation that was a challenge or a struggle. And so maybe they're on the market again, whatever that means. But with that, it's not necessarily something that ended terribly. I don't get the idea that they just got out of a really messy divorce and because then that would feel like, rebounding. It's not that. It's like they've accomplished something strong enough in their personal life where, again, they're riding this high or this wave of success and really confidence of, I'm going to put my cards on the table and see what happens. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and see if they choose me or if Cancer wants to date me or if, wants to move in with me, whatever this is. And with that, they never let it show, but they're shaking in their boots on the inside because they know this opportunity is so big and so important and means so much to them that they don't want to screw it up. I don't think they will. I think the Hierophant here, you have to see this card, it's not flanking, but it's surrounded by earthy energy, this kind of Saturnian, maybe Capricorn energy, the Taurian energy, which is, fixed earth. It's like solid granite rock. And then we have this fun, excitable fire energy. And I kind of like that combination. As much as there is fire, and there is, right? There's also a lot of earth coming through here too. So for most of you, it seems like the deciding factor rests with you. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's someone moving forward saying, am I confident enough, to roll the dice and hoping that, this person accepts me or takes me in or wants to work with me. And then is this person confident enough to leave the past in the past, not replay past narratives of things that didn't go right and be like, this is a fresh start with the world. This is a new opportunity. This is a new game. So, let's see what happens when we throw this person in the mix. It's kind of, I just heard sink or swim, which is really interesting because I don't think it is though, because in theory you guys are working together and supporting each other. So I don't think there is this like sink or swim, but maybe that's sort of, I don't know, indicative of the energy that you guys are combining again with that kind of like infinity loop that I'm seeing. I'm a little bit thrown off by the protest, but I almost take that more as like that inner confidence and that zest and that sort of kinetic energy that you have to do something with it. You have to channel it and put it into something that's worth your time and energy. That's sort of how I'm reading that. That card feels very Aquarian to me. I don't know why, it just does. I mean, they're kind of like the revolutionaries of the zodiac. I think that's just my personal opinion. I'm also getting kind of Virgo energy here. Major Arcana I already mentioned, possibly Capricorn, but all the fixed signs are shown here. So Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, who am I missing? Aquarius. Taurus for sure. Again, the fire energy, it could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag, but I also feel like it's channeling that inner fire within you. That's more what I get from those energies right there. Let's see what bottom of the deck is. Just out of curiosity. Oh, the sun. There's Leo again. I think that's a confirmation that this could work really beautifully. Whatever this is, I think I'm sort of getting it's like all or nothing or full steam ahead. And I think that scares you, Cancer, because, by nature's, and I like this about Cancers. It's not that you tend to be skeptical. That's not the right word. You're cautious. I think that's a good word for it, right? You got your crabby pincers out for a reason, in case you need to use them, right? And that can be as a defense mechanism, but it can also be to hold on dearly for life, right? There can be kind of this like survival mode that kind of factors into it sometimes. There's such freedom and joy and just like elation with this card. I always love when the sun comes up because it just feels like, guys, we can breathe. Like, we don't have to take this so seriously. I just feel like it's sort of a divine blessing from the universe that if it feels right, if it feels like the universe is trying to encourage you to welcome something into your life, you should do it. With your Ten of Swords, don't let pride or ego stand in your way. I hate to say don't, because I never want to tell you what to do in a tarot reading. I'm just sort of, make use of these energies. I would encourage you to watch your defenses and putting up walls and almost like this armor that you wear for self-protection. Again, very Cancerian message. With a double Leo energy here, by the way, too. I almost sense that we're coming off the Ten of Swords as maybe some Cancers have faced a major disappointment or a loss, and we're rebuilding, right? That definitely shows. But with that, we're still struggling to completely release it from our energy, from our memory. And so there might be sort of this posturing or peacocking, or that's not the right word, sorry, not peacocking, but I think posturing is the right word. This put on that I have it all together and, I'm fearless and I'm invincible and, no one's going to rattle me or shake me. And I think to a certain extent that's good, fake it till you make it, but not where you are alienating yourself and sort of in like ruling with fear and intimidation that other people need to come and heed your every command or however you want to phrase it. It needs to be a little bit more loosey-goosey and silly and fun. Remember to be funny. Have a sense of humor about this. Mistakes are lessons, right? They don't need to be this epic downfall or tragedy that ruins you for life. And, I don't mean to be condescending. Obviously, with Ten of Swords showing up, some of you have gone through a major ending or a major cycle, but that's just it. Both these people have gone through a major ending or a major cycle, some happier than others, but the one that's coming in seems to be riding this high of like, I got so much to offer. I'm going to make this my own. I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. I have a lot to give in this relationship. This one, understandably, is a little bit more hesitant to do that. I feel like with the cards surrounding it, though, this could be a partnership or a connection that you become very proud to call your own. You find yourself immersed in this energy that just feels really like lovely and warm and generous and giving. I think there's equal give and take. I think both people need to get to know the other one a little bit better. Or give them more of the benefit of the doubt. Again, not holding them accountable or holding them hostage for other people's past mistakes, right? I think we've already said that. All right, Cancer, that's what I got for you. This feels like a lovely reading. I hope it resonates with some of you out there. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I will see you guys very soon for more tarot. Bye, Cancer.